Hey, welcome back to Poke Suit Channel. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, I've had a lot of people ask me how I created the Speedpic and the Zookies. This is the Zookies as marketed by Dunlap Guitar Accessory Company. My name's on the packaging here. It says Steve Zook Design. And when you open it up, I've got different kinds of picks in here. It's got a little explanation of the Zookies. The Zookies are a thumb pick with my angled design. So this is one of the actual speed picks, and the idea behind the product is when you play guitar, your hand kind of comes across the string. So by having the twist at the end of the pick back this way, it develops more of a parallel picking angle, and it economizes your picking movement and whatnot. But anyway, I've had a lot of people ask me how Dunlap markets the Zookies for me, which is the thumb pick with the angle on it, with the ergonomically designed angle, and the speed pick. And people have asked me how I was able to get this to market. And years ago, I had a product called How to Take an Idea Out of Your Mind and Into Your Wallet. This is it right here. And this is way, way, way back when they had cassettes. And I did some seminars on this as well. And I had a company called the Entrepreneurs and Inventors Contact Service. But I talk about here many, many subjects: the psychology of investors, closing deals, how to get free advertising publicity, how the aura of the company can help you, be more prosperous, the metaphysics of marketing, on and on. Well, I've had a lot of people recently. I do a little bit of business consulting. Music and guitars is my passion in life, but I just like to be a creative person, and to me, there's creativity to business. I love getting involved in helping a business. So from time to time, I do some business consulting, or I train sales staff sometimes for corporations. But recently, I've had some people asking me about how I was able to get my Speedpic and Zookies to market. And so I've decided to reissue this in the form of videos. So I'm going to have a course, and this is not something you can get at a college, because it's very specialized knowledge. You have to have gone out there and found investors and started with nothing and built something up. And there's so much that you learn from the success and the failures that we've all had as entrepreneurs. But I just want this, like I said, this is the old packaging. But it's going to be $4.99. I'm going to do it for $2.99, and this is powerful information. I mean, just one of my tricks on how to get a patent could be worth thousands, and I'm not kidding you. I have a little trick you can use if you're denied a patent, where it's a certain approach you can use that worked for me, and I was able to get a patent when my patent attorney, by the way, who was a huge patent firm, full wider patent, Robert Lee and UTEC in Long Beach, said I couldn't get a patent, and I discovered a very interesting legal way to restructure the patent to get it. So that alone is worth the $2.99. But let me just give you some of the different subjects that are going to be covered. It's about 45 subjects in this course. Okay, and I'm not going to send the information all at one time. You'll be downloading probably 40 separate videos over a period of time, so you can absorb the information. Here's some of the things I'm going to talk about. The clarity stage, and I got to make this brief. The clarity stage, which is the most important stage of being an entrepreneur. You have to get clear on what you're doing and why you're doing it, and are there family Olympics involved, and how much money is it going to take? There's a lot of variables involved. So the clarity stage is that's alone is worth the $2.99, because if you get up on the wrong foot, you're just you're what's the old saying? You're going east looking for a sunset. So let me just rattle these sections off. They're powerful. It's hard for me to do this quick because I won't start talking about each one. The idea, which is obviously a huge part of it. Okay, and that's involved with the clarity stage. I talk about protection, patents, trademarks, branding statements, all that, learning how to leverage off of that as well as to protect yourself. I discuss brand equity, which has taken on a lot of changes with the digital age, how to leverage off brand equity, and some of the major, because the digital world has created these subdivisions. It's really interesting, like my domain name, ladeal.com. That's got huge brand equity behind it. It's got billions of dollars of already spent money. Just like my domain name, coffeechannel.com, has brand equity behind it. So I'll be talking about that and how you can use that to leverage and make your project a little bit easier. I talk about the 10 P's of marketing. This alone is worth the $2.99. This is good information. I have to believe in what I do, or I can't do it. That's the bottom line. The 10 P's of marketing is powerful because I talk about price, positioning, publicity, personality, profit, protection. I mean, I'm not going to go into all 10 of them right now, but but by getting this information, you could save yourself years of time and actually, get to where you want to get to quicker and make better choices as to what you're going to put your time into. Here I talk about funding, intellectual property, which is huge because, again, that's changed. Positioning has changed. I mean, intellectual property is worth a lot of money. Intellectual property allows you to get traffic and to build your position and build your name and get customers, and it's a whole new game. It's a whole new game. It's about playing your own game too, not just always, anybody can spend money on advertising, but learning how to write your own ticket and play your own game. Creating value, being on purpose. This kind of comes into the metaphysics of marketing, but this is powerful stuff. And some billionaires have used this information. Getting a patent, not getting a patent, taking small steps, exercising the muscles of your imagination. I have an exercise that you can do that will actually teach your subconscious mind to help you come up with some great ideas. Even if you already have an idea, you might want to do this. And if you don't have an idea, it's really perfect because it will help you come up with one. But if you have one, it will flush it out and make sure that it's something which is solid. It's an interesting thing. It works. Starting where you are, giving and receiving, meditation. Stay with me. Staying positive. Digital publicist. That's a huge one. That's a huge one. If you learn how to be learning how to be a publicist is how I got my Speedpic and Zookies to market, and eventually to the point where I've signed a licensing deal with the largest guitar accessory company in the world, Dunlap, who now markets for me. By learning to be a publicist, learning to create news, learning to write press releases. But I talk about being a digital publicist, and this is really interesting stuff, and it's worked for me. That's how I'm getting 36,000 views a month on my YouTube, and it's very interesting. I talk about playing the real game. I talk about what's in the name. What you name your product is very, very important, and I discuss how a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of just leveraging off their name. And I talk about the psychology of picking different types of names, and this is really powerful too. I talk about crowdfunding, self-analysis, are you a salesman, the Clint Eastwood philosophy, the double-edged sword of confidence. Because confidence, I've done consulting for companies where people were so confident they ended up running the whole company into the ground because some people think they know everything, so confidence is a double-edged sword. I talk about the internet, opportunity, the convergence. Talk about being yourself. Do you need a partner? Choose carefully. I talk about your mental state. I talk about business plans a little bit. How to take a business plan and fine tune it and make it more succinct so that it will get funding. If the right person reads it, they're not just going to get bored and then throw it away. And I talk about some very important factors on that. And some of this information has come from other consultants as well. I talk about the Captain Kirk philosophy, always possibilities. It's powerful, it works. I talk about affirmations. A lot of this has to do with learning how to close yourself. I talk about how to get your subconscious mind on your team. I talk about how to make friends with your subconscious mind. It works. You wouldn't believe some of the stories I'll be sharing with you. I'll talk about how I was able to find $100,000 with nothing. It's true. I talk about branding statements, leverage by helping another company and then getting leverage from them, giving up the control to get the control, the paradox of control, social networks, videos and TV. I talk about neuro branding, and I talk about being camera friendly. I talk about creating a position for growth. Okay, positioning yourself so as you build, there could be no limits to your growth. I talk about the cool factor. In fact, I had this conversation with Bill Hudson, who produced Father That Ride with Steve Martin. He was thinking of investing in CoffeeChannel.com, one of my projects, but he even agreed how massively important the cool factor is. I talk about hunches. I talk about short-term, long-term, how it's important to have a balance between those two. I talk about family Olympics. Seriously, folks, I mean, if you've always wanted to start a small business but you don't have much money to do it, this course will get you on the right track, and you can start a business for $500. You don't have to have a lot of money to start a business. That's a complete fallacy. But you do need the knowledge, and you need to kind of delegate yourself for a while. You need to make friends with your subconscious mind. You need to know some of these techniques of starting where you are. So this is really a great course. Like I said, guitars and music is my main passion in life, but I have also received a lot of joy from marketing my own products, and I'll share, like I said, I'll share things I did right as well as things I did wrong developing this product, because anybody who's honest will admit we've all made mistakes, but you can profit from these mistakes that I've made, and I can cut down your time greatly, and I can help you to, because it's confusing sometimes figuring out what to do, and my course will help you kind of strip away the layers of uncertainty to the point where you'll be like, okay, that's out, that's out, that's out, that's out. And then some of the ideas I present to you will be so powerful and so doable, where if you just put the time in, you can get these things rolling, that it's going to help you dial in a good idea for you to start with. So if you're interested, you can send $2.99. You can just, I can send you a PayPal invoice. You just need to you can send me an email at stevezook7@yahoo.com, or if you just want to PayPal me the $2.99, just send it to stevezook, STEVEZOOK7@yahoo.com, and I'll send you this course. Now what I'm doing, like I said, this was on cassette, and I want to make this a really, really great value, so I'm not going to send it to you all at once. What I'm going to do is you're going to get about 45 separate videos, and I'm going to stretch this out over a few months because I'm in no rush to do it, and you shouldn't be either, and you will actually get more out of this if you kind of take time to savor this information. But this is powerful stuff. I usually charge about $100 an hour for consulting. I don't do as much consulting nowadays as I used to. Like I said, guitars and music is my passion. I'm more into my guitar business and the guitar ladder, but I do love the creativity of business. I'm fascinated by the internet. I'm fascinated by the convergence. I'm fascinated by the digital world and positioning. And there's so much opportunity right now because, cable TV as it exists today won't even be like this in 10 years. And the internet is a shift in power. And, there's so much opportunity right now to those that can run with the ball, that can start building right now. And you don't have to have a lot of money. That's a complete fallacy. You do not have to have a lot of money. What you have to do is you have to start building right where you are, start taking some steps, get some things done, own some intellectual property, work on something that has the ability to grow and that has the ability to create revenue very quickly. And this is not like a get rich overnight thing or a lazy man's way to riches. It takes time. You're going to build brick by brick, but you're going to be building up intellectual property. Now, if you have an idea that's not intellectual property, or if you have an idea that maybe doesn't relate to the internet, although I don't know how it could not relate to the internet, because any idea you have can bloom and blossom through intelligent, positioning and use of the internet, because the internet has really redefined business. But anyway, this is a very, very valuable information. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years to get this information, and I've kept great notes for the last 30 years. I'm 60. I started my first company when I was about 22. But anyway, if you have any interest and if you want to get the course, you can PayPal me to stevezook7@yahoo.com, or you can just throw it in my Wells Fargo account. But most people will seem more comfortable with the PayPal, and that's fine with me. Just like I can send you an invoice for the how to take an idea. Again, this is the old packaging. I'm going to send it to you in about 45 videos that you download from Hightel. It used to be yousendit.com. But again, a lot of people have asked me how I was able to get my products. You can go to Dunlap Manufacturing. I think it's dunlapcompany.com or dunlap.com, one of those two. You can Google it and look up the Speedpics and the Zookies. Those are my products. I invented those. I started with absolutely nothing, not even no money to put into it at all. And went out and found an investor, got the patents, did trade shows, did NOM shows, did all my own publicity. Learning to be a publicist is a huge part of learning to create some success, and I teach you all that. This is like getting a degree from a really, really good business school where it's not just a bunch of people talking about it that maybe have never done it. I'm not saying all business schools are like that. There are some great schools out there, but you really, when you go out there and you start with nothing and create something, that what you learn is incredible. So if you're interested, you can PayPal $2.99 to Steve Zook, STEVEZOOK, 7@yahoo.com. I'll get you started on this, and this course will save you a lot of money. This is really about saving money and saving energy, because I'm going to help you get on track. I'm going to help you, as long as you're honest with yourself, I'm going to help you realize what it's just never going to work. you know, and that maybe you need to forget that and open your mind again to some other and better ideas. So it's kind of like a self-analysis. It's like a business analysis. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you figure out the best way to approach this and the best idea to work with. Okay. All right. So you can PayPal $2.99 to Steve Zook, the number 7 at yahoo.com. Thanks a lot. And you can email me if you just want to ask me a question at Steve Zook, the number 7 at yahoo.com. Thanks.